Right, everyone, it's time for my top 5 Red Dead Redemption tips for new players if you're just starting out, or if you've already played for quite a bit of time. Hopefully some of these will help you. I'll try and pack it with as much information as possible and do it fairly quickly, but without further ado, let's get started. Tip number 1 is unlocking all of your fast travel points. Now, you'll have to have about $50 in the bank in order to do this, but the simplest method and the most powerful method if you want to cut down on travel time and just enhance your experience overall is to go to Valentine, which is very close to your starting camp, this being your starting camp right here, Horseshoe Overlook. From there, go straight up to Valentine, get to the train, and then simply purchase a ticket to every single train station that you have access to. You want to buy one to Strawberry, you want to buy one down to Blackwater, to Rhodes, St. Denis especially. This is a very key one. You want to get a train ticket to St. Denis as early as possible and unlock that for a variety of reasons, but I'll cover that more later on. You also want to go to Annesburg and anywhere else that you can get. If you can get stagecoach locations in those towns as well, make sure to do that. This will open up the map much quicker than the main story allows you to and let you hunt down legendary creatures, animals. I always call them monsters because of fantasy games, whatever. It'll let you track a whole bunch of, more powerful legendary animals and get to different areas and do a lot of quests faster. It really will just help your quality of life overall. So tip number 1 is get to Valentine, get to the train. You need about $50 to do this. Do this as early as possible and unlock every single travel location that you can on the map, especially St. Denis. Tip number 2 is a little bit odd, and it has to do with bounties and serving jail time. Now, over the course of your adventures in Red Dead 2, you will inevitably have a bounty on your head or the law after you at some point. Now, this isn't much of a big deal, honestly, in the lower tiers, but when you get up to the point where it's dead or alive, wanted dead or alive, and they shoot on sight, this can actually inhibit you from doing anything in that entire region. It gets ridiculously hard to survive. There's constantly posses coming after you, and it's really difficult to survive. So you never want to let it get to the point of being dead or alive, and one of the ways that you can circumvent this or prevent this altogether is by dropping your bounty by serving jail time. Now, the best way to do this is to go to your camp, deposit all of your money. You don't want to actually pay your own bounty or have funds confiscated, so get rid of all the money that you have on you. Then go and simply surrender to a lawman. If they're not coming after you, if the bounty isn't that high, or if you don't have that much jail time and it's not a serious crime, you can simply walk up to any town or main location, assault somebody, and then surrender to the officer, because he will then put you in jail and it will completely cleanse your entire wanted level and prevent it from ever getting to that super difficult dead or alive level. The second part of this, and the main reason why I thought it was justifiable to put it in a general tips video, is that you also, when serving jail time, will completely replenish your energy and its core, as well as your life and its core. So you don't have to eat anything. It's relatively short to serve jail time. You can completely replenish both life and energy cores, as well as the fact that your horse will be magnetized back to you. So regardless of where your horse is in the world, he will then be right outside the sheriff's station when you finish serving your jail time. So if for whatever reason you get separated from your horse and you don't want to travel a great distance and you're not near your temporary horse or anything like that, and you have a bounty, it has a bunch of different purposes. Serving a jail sentence is actually a beneficial thing if you do it with like a $2.50 bounty on your head. It can help you a lot, cut down on time, get your horse back, replenish your life, your energy, and drop the bounty before it gets to dead or alive. So serving jail time is not always a bad thing. Tip number 3 is to pick up a lock breaker and a second gun holster as soon as possible. A lock breaker is very straightforward, and this ties back into why we said unlock all the fast travel points, because in St. Denis right here, we can scroll down, we can see the fence. If you go to the fence, you can simply buy a lock breaker. It's relatively cheap, and that will allow you to open up a lot of the chests that you're going to be encountering long before you would actually get the lock breaker organically through the story. So if you pick one of these up, you can open certain boxes silently, and it really will just increase the amount that you're able to loot. You can rob stagecoaches better, and there's a variety of reasons. So picking up a lock breaker as soon as you unlock St. Denis is a really good thing to do. The next part of this is getting your second gun holster, and there is organically within the story a point where you unlock a second wieldable gun, but you can actually get this within 5 minutes far sooner than you ever would do that main mission. So the simple thing that you need to do is just skin 3 deer. I went into my menu here, and I'll go to progress and show you. I went over to challenges, and there's only one Master Hunter challenge that I've completed, and if I'm wrong about this, then please correct me, but I'm 99% sure I'm not. There is one Master Hunter challenge that I've completed. That is skin 3 deer. And then when I came to the Trapper, which is where you can turn in challenges for reinforced gear, when I came to the Trapper as seen right here, let's open his shop up. We go to buy. We scroll down to reinforced equipment. We go down to Master Hunter, and we have a Master Hunter offhand holster. I had a second gun long before the game actually prompts you and gives you the tools to have a second carryable gun through the main story. And I was wielding this, you know, for hours, many hours before that actually happened. So unlocking both the lockbreaker and the second gun holster as soon as possible is a really cool thing that you can do to enhance your experience without having to put in as much time to actually get to that point. By the way, the Trapper is located as well in St. Denis, right next to the fence, so that just ties back into the whole idea of unlocking fast travel points. You can get to him immediately after skinning 3 deer. Boom, second gun, second holster, all set to go. The next tip has to do with money, and there are a bunch of gold bars out there in the world. There's different treasure maps and different chains and things like that. But these two areas are immediately accessible. You don't have to jump through any hoops. You can simply go to these locations and pick up a total of 4 gold bars, which will be worth $2,000, which is enough to pay off whatever bounty you have or otherwise enhance your camp early on. A bunch of different reasons. So number 1 is right down here. This is your main starting location. Right there, Camp Horseshoe. Just immediately to the bottom left of that is a burnt village, and in that burnt village is a sheriff's cabin. In the sheriff's cabin, behind a desk, is a little metal box, and there's a gold bar in there that's worth $500 by itself. There's probably a bunch of videos on this, but that's number 1. Number 2 is up here by Donner Falls. It's, you know, far north on the map over here at next to this river. And if we zoom in, you can see that there's these statues. There is a cave, and the entrance is displayed like this. Inside that cave is a middle statue and a bunch of surrounding naked statues. And those naked statues each have a button. The simple explanation, without, you know, drawing this out too much, is that you need to press the statues that have 2 fingers, 3 fingers, 5 fingers, and 7 fingers. The 7-finger statue is missing an arm, so simply look for the first statue has 2 fingers, press that button. The next statue has 3 fingers, press that button. The next one has 5 fingers, press that button. And then the next one is missing an arm, press that one has 7. Those are the prime numbers, and this includes thumbs, by the way. It's not just fingers, it's fingers and thumbs. It's the amount of digits that they have that aren't broken off. Those are all the prime numbers, and then it will unlock the center statue, and the center statue has 3 gold bars inside of it for a total of $1,500 worth. Combine that with the previous one, that's $2,000. You simply had to stop there and pick it up. You didn't have to jump through hoops or go find treasure maps or whatever, and then that can help you in a lot of sticky situations. The last tip that I have has to do with modifying your appearance, especially when you have a wanted level. Now, it's very hard to progress, like I already stated a bunch of times, through any area where there are lawmen or bounty hunters looking for you, especially if you've committed a lot of crimes. But it can be as simple as just changing your clothing and shaving off your beard. It's like the game built in this system to help you every time you get wanted, because most often you'll have, you know, spent enough time away from the barber that you'll have a thick beard, as well as the fact that you can have a different coat, a different hat, and then shave off that beard. That's pretty much enough to keep you away from the law for as long as you need in order to complete whatever activities you have to in that area. Of course, if you've completed a ridiculous amount of crimes and you're trying to use shops and things and you're walking around in town, then it's probably not going to insulate you from that. But changing your appearance a good amount is usually enough to get away with it. And some people may say that you just need to put on your bandana or wear a mask. Don't do this. That actually attracts more attention to you than simply changing your clothes and shaving your beard. All in all, if you do that, just change your coat, your hat, and shave off your facial hair, then you'll be good to walk around an area, and it will be like you don't even have a bounty most of the time until you've committed a bunch more crimes and they've gotten to know that new appearance. That's something that you can do to, you know, avoid paying a bounty or complete 1 or 2 activities in an area before you have to. Even with the dead or alive tag, that makes it very hard to go through. If you do this, you can change every single piece of clothing, and you'll have a good shot at not being noticed for a decent amount of time. Bonus tip, if you go into your satchel after a certain point in the main story, there'll be a mission where you hunt and you'll get this map. I won't try and do too many spoilers here. If you go into your satchel, once you've done the mission, you'll know which mission it is once it happens. And you scroll all the way over to your documents and you go to your maps, you'll see a legendary animal map. If you open that up, you'll see, you know, a bunch of different legendary animal markers all around, and if you seek these out and if you find them, I have a whole guide on how to hunt, especially legendary animals, by the way, that's also on the channel. If you seek these out and harvest them, you'll get trinkets and you'll get various, tidbits of the animal's carcass or whatever. If you take those and you go over here to the map, and yet again, this ties into the fast travel stuff in St. Denis, and you go all the way down here to St. Denis and you come up to the fence, then you can sell and exchange these for trinkets, and trinkets are basically Red Dead Redemption 2 versions of perks or stat boosts. So if you get a bunch of those, I would actually highly recommend spending some time hunting down some legendary animals all throughout the map, as many as you can possibly find, then going to the fence, exchanging them, and then this will have a huge impact on the rest of your playthrough because you'll have various stat boosts and it's a really good quality of life increase. So again, St. Denis, fence, hunt down legendary animals, exchange them, boom, you got some stat perks. That's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video. There are, of course, a wealth more tips out there. You can, talk about how to replenish your cores and what consumables to use and all sorts of things. But I'm going to stop there. I think that those tips are good, and that's a good top 5 to have. There's a bunch more gold bars, too. You could probably look up a video on that and get thousands and thousands of dollars through treasure maps that people have already posted the guides to. I don't think that I'll be doing that since that's so well covered already, but I figured I would include the easy ones, 4 easy gold bars in this, just in case. If you want to join the communities or support Upper Echelon in any way, there are various links in the description down below. We have a Facebook community, we have a Discord server. I am live streaming Red Dead Redemption 2 on Twitch a decent amount, especially over the next coming weeks. So if you want to check out a live broadcast, feel free to tune in there and follow that. Other than that, though, you can pick up some merch if you want, but I'll stop rambling. There really is no reason to continue. Thank you for watching. I'll continue my Red Dead Redemption 2 coverage in the future. I'll be doing, I think the next guide I'm doing is a camp guide on all the different systems in camp, how best to upgrade them, what they're used for, and just everything that you need to know regarding Horseshoe Overlook or your main camp where your gang is. But that's coming soon. Thank you for watching yet again, and as always, have a nice night.